And we're live. Hello and welcome to a special episode of Maddie Allen Live. I'm here with Miguel of Dollar Cost Crypto and Charlie of CultivateCrypto.com. Welcome, guys.
Hey, good to be
What's
back.
up, you?
It's been a minute since we all streamed together. It's been 2 or 3 months, and so how are you guys feeling about these crypto markets?
Time to be buying when everybody's fearful. Like I don't know. There's that one meme where it's like price goes up and to the right only for like 9 months, and then price goes down just a bit, and everybody's like, oh my god, it's all over. So I'm feeling pretty good about where the market's at. I think it's a great place to be buying right now, and both the liquidity cycle and the 4-year cycle for Bitcoin do match up. So I think we're actually going to continue to pump into 2025, which I think a lot of people are fearful of because, they're still thinking about recession and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
I'm just taken aback by some of the drama in the pulse chain community. It's ridiculous.
I'm not surprised.
It's an endless well of hate. God damn, it's endless. When I think we reached the bottom, oh no, there's more. But yeah, I mean, it's incredible, man. It's the gift that keeps on giving, man. But who else? But it's not who else but Quagmire, but who else but Hex community? But I guess that is kind of par for the course. I guess it is what it is. I mean, I took a gander at the Cardano ecosystem, and god damn, was a dumpster fire of people mad.
Hey! Charles Hodgkinson came out with a game. Oh yeah, but wait, that was on Gala Games.
That was on Gala. but anyway.
Yeah, Charles and I are we're the same age. We're like 36, but he looks like he's 100.
He's got that professor thing down. So since he's got tenure in the crypto space, he has to look like 50 plus. He's just
yeah.
It's like tomorrow I'm just wearing glasses.
So you guys, okay, so you guys still think crypto is going to be around a lot longer. So speaking of the Hex and Pulse Chain community, have you seen other communities that have as many YouTubers as us, or is it?
I haven't seen any other community that has as much like content as Pulse Chain, right? Like you go over and you look at these ones, like, they'll have like a handful of streams, but they won't have a lot of organic, growth because, I mean, to be honest, the only time people really organically stream about something is one of two things, right? One, they're actually interested in it, or two, they somehow think they'll be able to get in close with the main team and get a lick, of a payoff or something like that, right? And so I would say, Pulse Chain understands that it's pure DeFi, so everybody's coming in, because they want to support the project and they have the true support of it. Now, I hope, or I wish that more people would have the courage of their convictions with Pulse Chain. After the last few years, it's like, hey, if you stuck in this long, like, why are you freaking out now? Like, really, it makes no sense to me. But versus other communities, I think sometimes because they have a little bit more, what do you call it? Consolidated media, I guess you could say. They have a little bit more of a controllable narrative, possibly, but that's part of being DeFi, right? You want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly, and then build from there. So it's good to see guys like Hexabastard and everybody actually building out here, because that's what we need. We don't need complainers. We need people who are building, and whether it's content or dev work, whatever.
Yeah, have you guys seen all the stuff 9inch has put out lately?
Yeah, it's been looking good.
It's been looking real good.
They got a DCA tool. They've got a bridge, like the official Pulse Chain bridge, but it's integrated into their UI. I mean, they're on Ethereum and on Pulse Chain, so that's pretty convenient. They have a thing where you can launch meme coins as easy as pump.fun. All anybody wants to talk about when the conversation is meme coins or Solana, it's like pump.fun. You can launch a meme coin in 1 minute and it allocates a certain amount to liquidity. So the 9-inch guys got that integrated. They've got a lot of things that we wanted to see end up in PulseX at some point. So yeah, it's been really impressive to see how they're
Yeah.
starting to get the narrative going for Pulse Chain, because we really want more people talking about Pulse Chain.
Yeah, I mean, you've been building, good projects as well. So, yeah, it's something that, like I think a lot of people hate. It's like crabs in the bucket mentality. Sometimes people hate on people trying to do shit, but it takes time to understand sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, we're officially getting kind of the meme coin season that was already happening in Salon and stuff. We were just getting it popping off over here, and kind of just by having that feature of like being able to launch a coin really easily, that it's allowed people to express themselves and just create and stuff. Create memes, of course, but still express themselves. There's been some real creative names in the space, but I'm not going to say the names.
I accidentally called, I think, what is it, Dick Whiff Butts or is it Dick Butts? I don't even know.
Oh, Dick Whiff, yeah. Well.
It's Whiff, I think.
Okay. Because as long as, similar to Dog Whiff hat, that's perfect.
Yeah. And then you've got like you got Ben Armstrong coming on.
Yeah, that's been good.
So that's been interesting. Do you
I
guys think that he's really as good a bros with Richard as he's making it out to be?
No, I mean they're friendly.
Yeah, I think in the past they were talking a lot. I mean, it's just probably not so much during the case, but I mean, it is. I mean, kind of is. We were all able to kind of like talk to Richard at some point and stuff like that. If we, in the past and stuff like that. But no, I mean, Ben did meet up with him quite a bit and stuff. There's tons of pictures and collabs. Ben's done streams with Richard really early on as well and stuff like that. I mean, he was one of the. I think he might have been the first big influencer that actually like, gave him the time of day. Besides like these ambush sort of like game shows. That's
true.
Quasi game shows. Like, oh look, all my enemies, cool. Let me knock them down. I mean, that's what like this reminds me of like what happens to Rolo when he gets invited to anything. It just ends if he gets invited and it's like, oh look, the hit squad, nice. But you knock them down. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's good to have external allies, for sure.
Yeah, well, and those I think like BitBoy's kind of like the break in the dam to the crypto mainstream, because I forget what the demarcations are, but there's that one chart. It's like chaotic good, chaotic evil versus neutral good and evil and all that stuff. And you have like these different types of personalities, right? And when you look at those, there's a certain section of crypto in that chart, which is like, okay, maybe this corner of that chart, right, will be all good with, Pulse Chain once it starts having success. And then until the dam really breaks into, hey, this is one of the best places in crypto to make money, then, it breaks into kind of everywhere else. And you probably only have like one section of that chart of types of people who probably will never get in just because, they're maxis in their own chain or whatever. So I think it is possible for Pulse Chain to really, kind of beat the narrative that people have been trying to put out against it. So I think it's just a matter of time, and I think the biggest thing might be just Richard getting some sort of positive precedent from his case at some point in the bull market, because if that happens, then basically you're gonna have a lot of crypto that's just butthurt and be like, I don't want to say congratulations, but I kind of have to because it affects everything else, So it'd be really interesting to actually see like Bankless collab with Richard, because right now Ryan from Bankless has been talking a shit ton about the FBI, what they're doing and everything. It'd be hilarious, right? Like, I think Richard would need to kind of toe to toe with that guy, but like,
he ain't toe to toe.
No, he ain't doing it either, which would be great. But like, it's like you hear these people in crypto, right? Basically trying to say, hey, we need to work together. We need to do all these things. It's like, all right, put your money where your mouth is,
I don't think I've ever said this live, but actually one of the two Bankless guys like follows me, and he follows less people than Richard. And so that's really weird. So I don't know if there's something I can do to like, nurture that relationship or something, but show on Ethereum. And so, yeah, if anybody has any ideas, other shit out of them, until they unfollow me. Like, I think we have so much social capital in the hex and pulse chain world that doesn't have to rely on Richard. Like, you guys are out there being these huge beacons of credibility. I don't think that anybody has ever done what you guys have done when it comes to teaching so many hundreds and hundreds, thousands and thousands of people about crypto and never losing your way.
Yeah. You just don't sell out, and then people respect that shit, like we've done a lot of collabs with, other projects as well, like Alluvium. We have a really close relationship. This company called Polemos, we know in the GameFi space. They have extension relationships into, stuff like Telegram. And then also, we have, relationships with the Phantom Network that DCC has created, with multiple projects within there, with Aerodrome and Velodrome. And so a lot of these guys are going to be jumping in on our webinars for the next Q2 Crypto Mindset course that's happening here in the next 1 month. But those types of olive branches, among communities, I think is really, really important, to kind of build out there. So whether it's with content creators or with other communities from projects, I think it's really important.
Yeah, I was pushing this whole initiative, this whole bear market, trying to get a lot of the Hexicans, pulse chainers, and just crypto guys in general to get on Instagram. And I think I've been right about it, because it's starting to really pop off, because I'm starting to see, if all people care about is price go up, I'm starting to see meme coins with successful Instagrams, and the price charts look good compared to the other ones. Just because the meme, the squeaky wheel gets all the grease. And I'm seeing just the analytics that, that I guess we're starting, there was just a report that came out yesterday. And this report comes out every fucking year, I swear. They're like, less than 5% of the population of the planet or something, before, it always, I've literally seen reports of 20% of all people, 80% of every millennial is owned crypto. Get out of here. They don't know. My best guess maybe in 21 was like 4.5%, something like that. That was at the peak of 21. We'd be like at maybe 2%, maybe even, that's even saying like a 1.5%, because the reason we even got to maybe 5% possibly was during the peak, and they were holding Doge on Coinbase.
Yeah.
Or Robinhood.
So, and they're like, these people are still holding it. No, they forgot about it. Or like, it's not worth it. It's down. I'm not selling it.
Well, they forgot about it, but the thing I like to do when I meet a normie, out there, that they say, I'm like, start talking crypto or whatever, and they're like, oh shit, I have crypto. What do you got? I got the Shiba Inu or whatever it is. A lot of them, their strategy is like, I'm down, so I'm just holding. And then once it starts coming back to prices similar to where they bought it or above, then they open up their app and they're like, oh shit, this is back. And I think that is probably, for those people, like 90% of their indicator whether the market's back or not. So unfortunately, that's going to get them to come in late again, for a lot of those coins. But that's how a lot of people look at it, very simply.
Yeah, that's the sad part. The only saving grace to it, of course, is just like, if they've held on that long, at the very least, these coins, if the coins are good, they end up doing multiples from their old all-time high in 21. So at least gives them a tiny more runway than they got last time. Right. But that is the biggest thing, is for us to remind people that it's not too late right now. There's still time, and we just barely have the happening. Barely. We're below all-time high price for BTC, not even just 21, but like just recently in 2024 at $74,000 Bitcoin. Ethereum still doesn't have the ETF passed. We were telling people the entire bear market, the ETF is going to pass for Bitcoin. You guys buy Bitcoin at $15,000, and people were like, haram, no, I won't do it. No,
I could never get Bitcoin. Never.
I'm not going to buy the Pulse Chain bomb. I hate money. I'm not PulseX. No, ew. The thing I said, absolutely, I won't lower dollar cost. What? Like Cultivate? What? I am not. I swear to you, Charlie, Maddie, I will not lower my cost basis at any point. This intelligent investor book is what's going to keep me from the streets. That's what's going to keep me. But that's. I know I'm being kind of ridiculous, but it's kind of like it kind of is what it is. Like until they start, like we've been really good at like getting the message out, whether using really serious tones, being funny, appealing to people through the red pill or through certain space. And this is like what we tell guys as well. Like the way you want to onboard is you got to onboard through your social groups, you know, and you can't be one dimensional. You have to like me and Charlie were like, let me join the red pill to show crypto. No, we were already in the red pill, and then we just talked about crypto. That's the big difference. It's like, all right, where can I infiltrate in order to enter this thing?
Well,
You know,
yeah. Well, and
It's
like,
organic.
yeah, well, like the main thing, right? Like when I started my YouTube and everything, I was kind of like, everybody in crypto already is like, you know, knows about crypto. Like, what are we going to educate people in crypto about? Like, you know, generally speaking, it's like, okay, well, most people are maxis, right? And they need to be educated about, you know, other ecosystems and like stuff that's, you know, how crypto works, because now that we get, you know, a lot of interconnectivity and projects working between each other throughout different crypto projects, you have to understand that. So that's something that, you know, has come to fruition later. But the most important thing, in my opinion, is that 99% of people who will be in crypto are not in crypto yet. Yeah. Right. Like DCC said, right. We probably don't have that much of the world actually in crypto yet. So really going out there and getting communities that you might not think like have good connections or have a logical connection with crypto, and just be like, hey, what do you think about this? And if they're open to it, you know, just start discussing it.
Yeah. I mean, not even just going off of like world population that even owns a crypto, which is like this, like I own a Satoshi, Charlie. One Satoshi. I got a little Clay.
Oh, the rare Satoshi, 3 million.
And a couple hearts, right? But in terms of like DeFi users, I mean, I've seen numbers of like 30 million. That's not true. You know, it's probably no, there's no way. I mean, like real active users, probably like 2-3 million that are using it on a daily basis. And then more than likely we're somewhere between like 10 to 15 million the users that use it on within a monthly basis, something like that, right? And then when things spike up, it shoots up, because it takes a certain, like there's kind of like, this is one thing that me and Charlie are really good at, is we're really good at building bridges. And the bridge we're really good at is getting people from zero to hero. But from there, once they kind of understand like that, wow, I know how to hold my coins. What are these literal bridges? How do you actually use DeFi? And that's one of the big things. I mean, that, you know, we've you know, we're hoping at some point to get an exchange listings, because that ends up speeding things up, because then it just becomes a transferring thing. But regardless or not, you know, using Pulse Chain, and we've used Phantom in the past as well, to be able to show people how to use DeFi has like, it's incredible, you know, because once they're like, oh, I've experienced everything in Pulse Chain, they know how to use anything else. That's really one of the coolest things about everything, that like, you know, Richard planned this out pretty well. There was recently a pretty big, I don't know, I wouldn't say hack, but it was more of a possible exploit they found before anyone got to use it on almost every Ethereum L2. Which pretty much would mean that people could move funds off of it through bridges and stuff without people knowing. But, you know, they ended up freezing it, and people were still allowed to like trade on the L2s and everything. It was fine. But they're still on a daily basis, still possibly finding like, you know, bugs in codes to this day. And, you know, a lot of that L2 code is still, you know, it's a very centralized sort of thing. You know, they are like, when you're decentralized L1, it's kind of set in stone already. Now, if you do patches and updates, I mean, they're like, there's problems there, right? I mean, this is why like nothing happens on Ethereum or Bitcoin, especially Bitcoin. But a lot of these L2s are extremely, extremely centralized. They can turn you off. Like they're not censorship resistant. They're censorship.
That's not crypto.
That's not really crypto. But as a purveyor of money, I mean, but you have to sometimes use these things. I mean, I bet you at some point, you know, I mean, it just is what it is. But like, you know, base protocol and, you know, OP, Arbitrum and stuff like that, you know, they're just trying to take the load off. But with things like Pulse Chain, that's, you know, it's helping out as well, you know.
Yeah. The crypto isn't the only thing that can be popular. And so if there are these crypto lookalikes that are making people lots of money, you know, you guys are able to still call it like you see it and help people make money and know what true DeFi is. And And
Yeah.
hopefully that narrative comes back of like, you know, the true ideals of crypto.
I think that will depend on what gets built, right? So if there are people who are building that, then great. If there aren't, then nothing's going to happen. So that's kind of important.
Correct. Well, I'm doing an experiment of my own, as you guys may have heard. But then again, you guys are there in Miami doing all these important shows and onboarding people into crypto. So maybe you didn't hear. Yesterday, I opened it up for people to start free claiming on a project that I'm doing. I'm calling it just like a reverse sacrifice, because a week ago, I started a 30-day sacrifice period for people who believe in the freedom to sign a transaction. And that is off to a great start. Even though people were kind of negative about it, the sentiment has completely changed now, and there are tons of people showing their support. So that's a positive. And so even though those two things are kind of separate in people's minds right now, the free claim that people can do is just by going to my Twitter and dropping a fresh wallet address, and then you get to see you get to experience what the next step in the game is once you do that. And I'm seriously considering limiting the number of people to 5,000 people that can do this free claim, because that was the magic number of people who started in Hex in the first week of Hex. So there's an endless amount of things that I could say about like, what I'm building, what I've already built. But if people know like the best way to do a free claim is to just go drop a fresh wallet address there on the Twitter thread, then that'll get people started at least.
So
Yeah.
so what you're telling me is use the address that I have all my coins on.
Look, that's not going to hurt anything. And one of the things. So I just talked about two things. So like a third thing that I've built that I think is relevant today is, you heard about, there was this hack of somebody got hacked who was a holder of Axis token. Is that right?
Yeah.
I invented a way for people to be able to undo a hack if they set up a second seed phrase ahead of time. And it's audited and launched, and there's over $1 million of TVL in Time Pays Me. And so, yeah, wouldn't it be cool if in the future people got paid to improve their security? How cool would that be? I think that would be pretty cool, because it would save communities like Axis from getting $1.5 million taken out of their liquidity pool or whatever.
Yeah. And then I will say, here's one thing I will say about that whole subject there is, like, I'm probably on the team where like they probably, like, the hacker was making every dummy mistake you could possibly make on, like,
yeah. Did you see that?
I know I saw it, but we probably someone said this as well. Like, it took it right out of my mouth. It was kind of like, if you see your enemy making mistakes, don't say nothing. Just let them keep doing it. I mean,
well, that's how we know it wasn't any of the main characters in our ecosystem.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He said main characters.
But I mean, that's true. I mean, it's oh my god, like, bridged it all over to it. But there's a problem by telegraphing it. It's kind of this whole thing too that, like, there's been a lot of, I mean, people are complaining about this and stuff, but I'm 80% of the time I find it hilarious. It's so funny. But sometimes it's like these guys making these horrible decisions see themselves going viral on Twitter, and then go like, "Why? I'm not stupid." And then they jump back in, and they, where like they would have got washed out if people weren't making fun. If people didn't know that they were making fun of them, right? So I'm kind of torn on it, because it is the best stuff to read on Twitter ever. It really, like, oh my god, like, shout out to some of the Hex ladies, man. Like, oh my god, man, they're on it and stuff like that. But that's some really sad stuff. The thing is like right now, like, it's just, we have to be really, really careful. I mean, obviously, you had the guy who got the biggest hack ever that happened in Hex and stuff,
Yeah.
like, and we still roughly don't know. I mean, allegedly, I don't want to say, but allegedly, it could have been family, or it could have been this or that, or links and stuff, or someone got the cell phone, I mean, it's a whole lot of stuff, there, but we have to be really careful with the keys and stuff. And we never have them in any devices. And I mean, it's got to be analog, and, have a Trezor and stuff, cold storage, all that jazz. And, I don't, people don't have, I mean, there's one thing that I just said this earlier on Twitter about having condom wallets. This is one thing me and Charlie have been like huge proponents of, and people don't know what that means. Condom wallets are like as an example, right? When Maddie's like, make a brand new wallet and interact with the contract, right? That's a condom wallet. Basically, it's a virgin brand new wallet that has no coins. If it gets compromised, that's what gets compromised. It's having, you don't have all your coins on just one wallet. You have multiple wallets. You have, as an example, like my Pulse Chain and Pulse X are in this one, but my 9-inch stuff's over here, and this is over there, and Maddie's coins here, and it's this whole thing where like if you do somehow, I don't know how, possibly that you got compromised, only one of them got compromised. Worst case, it would be terrible, but at the it's this whole thing where like 0 times a million X is 0 still. It's like crypto's a game of attrition, and like zeroing out is the worst case, but there's still time. I mean, we just had Nerd Girl, something happened to her and stuff like that. That's really sad and stuff like that. I was pretty bummed out about that one. That one was tough. She's been with us a long time. She's really cool, and a lot of people helped her out and stuff like that. So, and she's being a really good sport, and she's bouncing back. She's going to come back, and we're still pretty early on and stuff. And we have serial dumpers all the time, so
well, we had Gnosis Safe do an airdrop last week to people who had claimed points previously. And I was witnessing in real time that their Twitter was so crummy, and hard to tell, that I almost clicked on the wrong link to claim. And, you can only go to safe.global, but there were so many imposters. I know of 2 people in the Pulse Chain community who got rinsed because of it. And so it's really hard out in these crypto streets if we're not using our best security practices. And so, order a Trezor and be part of the 350 people who ordered one from my link after the Hex 19 event. Like, I have proof that many people got motivated to buy a Trezor. There's a link down there still to this day that people use. And create a new Chrome profile. That way you have a separate seed phrase, not just a separate address in the list of the ones that are connected to the same seed phrase. And it's okay to have lots of different instances of Chrome that are all running in different profiles, because you have this advantage of, as you say, protecting the old things that you've done in crypto while you're trying new things at the same time.
Yeah, and then a lot of the times too, with some of these legacy wallets, you do actually get legitimate airdrops, and even if a wallet is compromised, you could still claim and get those funds out of there, as well. And so this is kind of the importance of having good key management. This is something that we teach a lot in the course, is key management, writing down this one, outside. Me and Charlie have always had really good key management, but this is the one that really put it over the hill for me. It was taking really quality notes of why I did a certain investment or a trade and stuff like that, because you will forget, because God damn it, we don't sleep. It kind of is what it is. But during crazy times, you just are super excited in your sleep schedule. You could be missing a couple extra hours a night, and after a few weeks, it really adds up to the point where you're like, wow, I'm really lethargic right now, or man, I'm falling asleep, or we're talking about these 1,000Xs and I'm yawning right now. How is this possible? Right. But it's just, really being thorough, and it doesn't take a lot, but is be as descriptive as possible, but you don't have to write paragraphs of reasons, right? And if you are, you really got to reflect, dude, man, you might have too much invested, possibly. You're writing
no such thing, DCC. What are you talking about?
We can be I'm Maddie all in, but but there's people where they they can't sleep. I mean, I recently had like a consultation with somebody that could not sleep, they were like losing hair over like the position sizings. And I was like, one of the rare times I'm like, dude, you got to divest. You're like, dude, you're running yourself. I mean, dude, you're gonna die or something if you're not careful.
Yeah.
People kind of have to work up to those levels sometimes, right? You can't just jump in the deep end of the pool if you're brand new.
Yeah, I mean, everyone does have there is a little bit to temperament, I mean, one of the basic portfolios we always recommend is like, your brand, you just half Bitcoin, half Ethereum until you get your feet wet, and then jump in, and that's really one great thing to kind of like onboard, and then from there, like, and really Ethereum is like the gateway drug, really, because once you're playing around with Ethereum, like, oh wow, I can move it, I can swap on units. I mean, well, like, the cow swap, that's better, cow swap, and then wow, a bridge, and then it's a wide world. You start exploring out there, and then you find Pulse chain, and you find whatever chain you like, right? But I typically find, it's typically those people who, when it's their first year, they're so much more open. People who've been around cycles and cycles and cycles. I mean, they're just, not just battle scarred, but they're, they've had everything happen. I mean, right? Iraq War, Afghanistan, Vietnam. I mean, Black Monday and everything. It's all the Sam Bankman-Fried, that took a wet chunk out of my ass. Not didn't lose any money, but you know what I mean. But the prices went down. But it's all that basically. Where when you have someone brand new, and then the thing is too is like. We really do got to keep pushing, trying to onboard people. I mean, obviously the easiest people to onboard is people the closest to you, but this is where the importance of like having like an outside group. It could be you could be into wrestling. It could be a wrestling team. You tell your wrestling buddies, and things start clicking, and things have happened like that. And I think that's why we've been so successful, because I mean, if the community wasn't the way it is, I mean, Pulsion could have failed possibly, but the thing, or I mean, anything, but like, there are so much people that believe in this, and so many YouTubers and stuff, that it's just the onboarding continues on and stuff like that. And I think that's what's beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah. So people have kind of an idea of the level that you guys are at. How many people have you guys advised and onboarded into crypto in your career?
Over 16,000 plus and counting so far, which, and McDonald's has over a few billion served, so we got a ways to go.
At the same time, I'm aware of no other course offering, no other team of people who are at the level that you guys are in crypto, where you're actually onboarding people into things that end up working out for them. That sounds horrible to say, but I really am unaware of anyone else that's educating at the level of quality and reputation that you guys are.
One of the reasons why I think that is because the only other education stuff I've seen out there, right? Like, you got Richard Hart putting out some of the best free education for sure, and just being like, hey, don't get wrecked on these things. And we all put out really good and free information too. But in terms of other courses or anything like that, it's always pretty simple, right? And it's, people want to do it passively. They don't want to interact with their students that much. They want to just be like, hey, here's some videos, go watch this, you're going to do well, but instead of being like, hey, here's how to do it. Because I don't know, I think there's like this kind of culture, like underlying culture, that people don't talk about too much in crypto, which is like, hey, who's helping the noobs? You're helping the fucking noobs? Like,
yep.
And they're like, no, they're the exit liquidity, bro. All that kind of bullshit. And that's kind of like what turned me off a lot in 2017. I saw a lot of that stuff. I'm like, novel idea, do the opposite, right? Like, help people out, make people money. The more money they make, the more they want to come back. And then also the more that they're going to provide to, different projects that, they like and that they want to be invested in and stuff like that. So they go make money on other chains. Oh my God, they're not a maxi, but then they bring money back to the chain, because they've made money. Right. And so it's like all this type of stuff. It's like, I think crypto needs to adopt more of a abundance mindset than a scarcity mindset. But I mean, it's human nature to kind of, think that money is scarce when, there's some types of it that are. Right. But generally speaking, we got our Merkle trees printing us money out here, left and right. So This is really a space where, you just need to play smart, and you need to create the best net possible, to just catch, as much of the gains as you can. So that's what we like to do.
Sure.
And and it's, I guess, like Fresh and Fit and these level of millionaire people are always going to you guys over anybody else. Why do you think that is?
We keep bumping into them and we keep making them money. Like it's kind of like a game of pinball when you're networking out there, right? Like you're really just like, hey, how's it going? What's your name? Oh, do you like crypto? And like everybody looks at you like. I had a waiter in Utah last week. He was like, what do you do? I'm like, I run my own business. He's like, oh yeah, what is it? I'm like, teaching crypto. And he was like, oh, isn't that like the FTX thing? Like, isn't that terrible? And he just gave me the dirtiest dirty look, like he was like full Mormon or something. But like,
I want to lay into him. No. Dude, I stole so much money from FTX. It's crazy, man. Like we occasionally get a couple of these guys on the craps table. I just like fucking with them.
Yeah, but if you get out there and you put yourself out there, I mean, Maddie, you got some awesome conferences, so you got a lot of people, that maybe are a little bit warmer leads to Pulse Chain because they have maybe a friend or somebody there, but they're like, I'm coming to this conference because I want to really understand this stuff. Like my friend said, it's interesting, and I kind of think that's cool. But like, then they want to hear from, directly from the people who are most involved with the projects, like yourself.
Right. And one of the biggest, and I actually said this on the Fresh and Fit, like live show. Yeah. Live show. Was that, one of the best ways to kind of, because I actually get DMs all the time. I mean, I bet you as well, you, Maddie, like, hey, I've been watching you for a long time, Maddie, but how do I get started? Or like, how do I get connected with this? I'm trying to, and then, eventually it's either because they want a YouTube, or I want to launch a coin, or I want to do this, or which is fine, because that's beautiful. That's actually what grows the ecosystem. Because that's how, ideas spread, right? But like, I can't get through the DM because that person I'm trying to DM is getting tons of DMs. And even at our level and your level and all our levels, it's a lot of DMs and a lot of messages. Imagine at a person who's got millions of followers or is really famous. This is where these live events actually can really break you through, especially at especially if we're sub 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. Like in person is how you can break through in an industry and stuff. And kind of like the last event that happened here was the Pulse Chain event with RG3, and that's where I met what's his name, Hexy Bastard and stuff like that. And like Hexy Bastard, found out he was a great guy. And I mean, I sacked for his project, but like, I got a chance to meet him and everything like that. And a lot of people, that's literally, I can pinpoint, that's the point right there where like everything turned around, because tons of people here in the States got to meet him and stuff. If he had stayed in the UK, maybe 9-inch wouldn't be doing as good today, but because he spent, and guess what? And people found out he was a good guy. He was a great guy. Right. And because of that, boom, it took off. And look at all this action that's going on. It's great. The buying and burn that's happening, and now people are like, oh my god, like 9-inch is the second biggest exchange now. Well, all this extra volume ends up, even no matter what, drawing more volume for PulseX as well, which is helping the buy and burn no matter what. So it's beautiful. It's really a nice thing. But if I can ever give advice to somebody, just try to go to these live events. You are not just going to make friends, but you're going to be able to actually break in, or just maybe you get the idea, and then later on you might decide to take action on it.
Yep.
Yeah. And so you guys are giving people advice. You guys are giving people kind of life lessons and the education that they need in your course about not just crypto, but about how to be successful in anything that you do in the social realm, in networking, in business. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. We did this one webinar with Fresh from Fresh and Fit.
Oh, right.
When was that? Like last summer, I think we did it.
Last summer. Are you talking about return on Flex?
Yeah, return on Flex. So like, basically Fresh, he has some pretty good ideas on like, how to manage your money when it comes to flashy shit, right? So like, let's say, for example, a Lambo, right? Like you go and buy the newest Lambo with the decked out interior and every little detail that you want. Probably not, right? No, go out there and buy something, that's only going to depreciate instead of, 80% depreciate on you 40% from what you bought it, stuff like that. So like we have guests that talk about other things too, but it's always related towards money. It's always related towards wealth. And I think, like similar to what Maddie talks about with like the psychology of money and, sudden wealth syndrome and stuff like that really applies too. So, kind of getting out there and just kind of being like, okay, there are other things that are important to people when it comes to money, as well as, those things are really useful to talk about.
I'm up on the DeLorean so far. That was a 2021 purchase, and it's considerably more valuable now. I think the top is in on DeLoreans though, because it's on Broadway right now. So yeah. It definitely was a better investment than buying a brand new pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
How much are those running right now? Like because there's like probably a limited supply of them, right?
Yeah, totally. There's about 8,000 that are still alive now. And it really depends on the condition. I have one that's in the top 5% best preserved DeLoreans in the world, nice, according to one of the only 3 people who own a DeLorean dealership. This guy, Mike, in Chicago, who runs the DeLorean Midwest. And he at any time has like 10 or 20 DeLoreans in his shop, just servicing them all day, every day with his team. And so the DeLorean that I have, the Hex DeLorean that's in such good condition, is worth in between 80 and 90K.
Nice.
But I mean, you can get a DeLorean for like 40 or 50K if if you don't really want it to run perfectly.
Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to drive it.
Yeah,
no, that's cool. What were you gonna say, DCC?
Oh no, what was Maddie's question beforehand? Like the beginning of it?
Like but you guys, like, you're educating people not just on crypto, but like on other points in life, like right, how to do well with business or with their social lives and networking.
Yeah, I think I just remember the other question, like, because you asked, like, why like people like Fresh and Fit and everything trust us so much. It's just because we've had a really long track record of helping people out, and as well as we're in the same sort of we're in the same sort of circles with them. But as time goes on, as people get more and more famous and everything like that, your circle gets smaller and smaller. You trust way less people because everyone just wants something from you. I mean, no matter even us and stuff, it doesn't, like, everyone does want something. It's whether it's your attention or they want you to show something, or it doesn't matter, right? But one of the big things is like they know a lot of these influencers know crypto is a really hot topic, and when it's hot, basically, right? And a big part of the game, especially at like not just Fresh and Fit's level, but like anyone who's like 500,000 subs or 1 million subs plus, it's all about keeping in touch with the waves. Because if you catch a wave, it's your way to break through, because you end up, like, what ends up happening to some of these channels is they kind of stagnate for a little bit, just for a while, until they can kind of, like, maybe what they've been talking about this whole time that got them to the rodeo is not, like, they have to continue talking about it, but it's like the mega growth has stopped. So they have to either use drama, or they have to use like being at the right place, right time, or like they start doing a little bit of content in that crypto space or in this space, or it doesn't matter, from women to politics. Like even someone like PBD does it as well, where they were mostly just finance, and now because the election cycles right now, they're talking a lot of politics right now. I mean, Iran, I see that on the channel like every other day, damn near. The Shah and everything like that, but that's sort of the game. And then I mean, at the end of the day, as influencers, especially at their, like, not at, I mean, at our level, we still have to, I get a lot of my videos demonetized, but when I do hot altcoins, never gets demonetized. So the algorithm loves that for some reason, right? So but imagine my channel magnified 20 times. How powerful that is, and that becomes such like seductive, like I mean it's a succubus and stuff, where like you have to play the algorithm game. I've heard, how many times me and Charlie have heard that from people, like, not even like bringing it up, we just hear it randomly, like the algorithm, it's just the algorithm game. You have to play it, especially at those levels. And a channel that's like, let's just say, like, 10 times bigger than my channel, like 300,000 subs. It is not like the pressure is not 10 times larger. It's like 20, 30, 40 times more. How it's not, it's exponential and stuff. It is like, it's squared basically of whatever you can imagine and stuff. So, you know, a lot of the times, you know, the like channels are really trying to be careful. And then, you know, we've, you know, me and Charlie have been able to cultivate a lot of connections, no pun intended, you know, of advising a lot of these larger channels away from scams because they get a lot of offers and stuff like that. So we've been able to suss out a lot of stuff. You know, this is safe. This is probably a scam, dude. Don't touch that. And that's a big thing too, because at those levels, you know, you make a big mistake, you could really hurt your channel that you've worked all these years for as well. So
yeah, and a lot of people out there that aren't in crypto are a little skittish to be talking about it still, but yeah, it's the numbers that do get people interested. And I think, you know, out of any other finance space, crypto, especially over the next 1 year, is just going to be like front and center, the star of the show. And so by knowing that that's likely the case, right, I think that should put more fire under everybody, you know, who's building anything, right, to basically push harder, move faster, right? A lot of people right now are like, oh, the market's gonna pump eventually. Don't, you know, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do that next week or whatever. It's like, no. If you want an effect for next year, you have to be doing it now, right? So I think a lot of people don't quite realize that in crypto, but we've been hearing a little rumblings from people outside of crypto being like, whenever we have you guys on, like, damn, like we get a little bit more interest in finance than usual.
Yeah. And the track record speak for itself. I mean, every time we go on these big shows, we literally are going on at some of the best times to buy. And every time we come back, the price is 50% higher on average. Imagine every time we come on, Santa Claus is coming to town. Every time. Me and Charlie, you know, checking the list, right? Twice, right? I mean, we come on, buy Ethereum at $1,000, buy Ethereum at 1,400, 1,800, 2,000. It's at $3,200 right now. And then when you look back to like, Jesus Christ, man, I don't know. Like, they may be onto something. Holy shit.
Right.
And that's one of the big anchors. Yeah. That's one of the big anchors.
Yes. Yeah, that's key, is building up that track record. And I don't think it's by accident that you guys are planning these courses to launch at times when you think it's a good time for people to learn about crypto. I think you guys have said that, and that makes perfect sense. Schedule the classes not on an arbitrary moon cycle or like, you know, a certain day of the year, but you're reading the market and you're using your skills of timing and recognizing the general macro trends in economics. It shows that you have a strong understanding of that, because every time you go on these big shows with more than a million subscribers, you're able to just look back at the last time you were on. Yeah, the price was lower. Before that, yeah, the price was lower. And that's very well done, gentlemen.
Yeah. And it's something that, like, you know, like Miguel said, they don't realize until the frog's boiling in the water, right? And then it's like obvious, but yeah.
It's a slow roll.
Yeah, but once it happens, it's really important to, you know, be like, okay, people are like, now I'm going to take action, right? And so, people outside of crypto always need, like, how many times did you hear about crypto before you're like, okay, I'm going to do something about it, right? Like for a lot of people, it was like, you know, you heard it all the time, and you just, you know, kept brushing it aside, right?
Absolutely.
And I think, for people maybe in the Pulse Chain community, a lot of the people, it's like, you know, what's happening outside of Pulse Chain as well, that can also lead back to bring, you know, better stuff into Pulse Chain, right? They may have heard a lot about other projects, but they're like kind of, you know, shy to venture out and not quite sure, you know, what's out there in the wide world of the wild west of crypto, right? They're just like, I know this space, so I'm comfortable here, but it's like, you know, you can learn a lot more by, you know, going out there and moving things around. And you don't have to, you could be like, I don't give a shit about Solana. I'm just going to, you know, trade this thing back and forth, or I'm just going to hold it, and then I'm going to sell it, buy more Pulse Chain with it, or whatever it is that you want to do, you know. But I think, you know, the more that Pulse Chain and Hexagons I don't know, pulse chainers or pulsicans and hexagons, the more that they know about the other places in crypto, right? The more they can bring that knowledge back and use that to be like, oh, we should have something like that, or we should have something like that, but better, let's go build it, or let's, at least, because I think the more people that talk about it in a community, the more momentum happens for the builders. The builders like, oh shit, there's actually a lot of groundswell interest in this thing. I think I can build that, and then somebody eventually figures it out and decides to go do that. So I think that kind of, I don't know, jostling of the mind or the portfolio and everything just gets more creativity out there for the community.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Yeah. With Hexy Bastard, he said his team figured out that people were using pump.fun on Solana, and then they developed their own better version of it and they launched it. And now you see BitBoy, promoting Pulse Chain more than ever.
Yeah.
I mean, in sense, it's carrots and sticks, man. It's behavioral economics, and it's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, the higher the coin goes, the better he looks and stuff, as well as. I mean, it's really not. It is not. I mean, I'll give it this with Axis as well. His coin was doing very well, and he was very proud of that. I mean, it's kind of like no matter what, it's kind of is a representation of yourself. So you want your thing to do good. We're all competitive. Yeah, Pepe, good. Yes. But I mean, this is a beautiful thing. I mean, we expected. We've had Doge and Shiba and stuff on the lists and stuff when it came to the courses. We've talked about. I mean, I don't know if I was one of the earliest YouTubers, but I was one of the at least of my knowledge, one of the earliest guys talking about Pepe before it really took off. And now it's one of the gilded ones. Apparently now, like there's kind of like these. I hate using the word blue chip because I mean, some people are like, yeah, and other people are like, oh my god, blue chip in crypto, bro. What are you talking about? But like some rope here, right? In the past, like there was only, I mean, even last cycle, people are like Ethereum, that $80, that $78 coin is a blue chip. Get real, bro. EOS is the coin that's going to take over, man. Verge is on the verge of taking over the planet, Charlie. But so Bitcoin's kind of like the only blue chip that really existed. Then Ethereum, and I'm talking about like the mainstream crypto. That's kind of the thing there. But now we're starting to get these kind of indices where like Dogecoin has been around so long. I mean, people know it's King Kong. That's the Bitcoin of Ethereum, of the meme coins. And Shib's probably the Ethereum, and Dog with Hat is a Solana. The Solana, I think Charlie's the one that really coined that one. But every ecosystem is going to have their highlight. I mean, what's called? I mean, believe it or not, AVAX's crowning meme coin is Cock in You. I shit you not.
And the foundation owns it.
What?
And Phantom is trying to find their thing, and then and right now we're in the battleground to see what is going to be. The King Kong of the coins and stuff, whether it's the PDI or the Atropa or this or that, or whether it's going to be something on 9-inch, or it's going to be a Solid X or Axis. We're going to find out. And at a certain point, it's going to take a while, and then eventually, like, okay, that's the crowning jewel and stuff. But these are big onboarding tools, because when your ecosystem is going through a meme coin cycle, and then the 9-inch exchange really helped us out, that everyone can start it. Now people are like, dude, I made a couple $1,000s today on my meme coins and stuff, my portfolio. This is actually what made Solana viral. I've got videos of African grandmas in Africa on their Android phone showing their granddaughters, look at my portfolio of like meme coins on Solana. Oh my God. I couldn't believe it, but that's what happened, and there's good stories. People sending her money and stuff. It was really nice. But like, that's the stuff I'm talking about. We're like, Solana had that ability where it's really cheap, but so does Pulse Chain as well. That's the virality of like these videos of like, hey, I'm playing around with all this stuff, and the community's being really nice, and they were able to make money and stuff. So right now we're going through this growth spurt, and it's kind of hilarious because the Solana one's slowing down now. And it's exactly what happened in the fourth quarter. So in the fourth quarter, we had all the L1s going bananas, and Pulse Chain was like this, just sitting there. And as soon as January 1st came around, boom, we took off. And, we were the last ones to really pump. And right now it looks like kind of we're the last ecosystem that's real. I mean, we still have echo booms on some of the other meme coins, but we're in full blown like meme season in Pulse Chain right now. I mean, just look at the 9-inch volume right now. It's beautiful. No, it's really nice. And this is why we tell our guys to be patient. It's about patience, and everyone's coin is going to have their day in the sun, and it's going to come. But you have to be patient. But it's that whole thing with envy versus jealousy. Jealousy is fine. Envy is evil. You know what I mean? It's like envy comes from hate. It's okay to be jealous. Like, I'm jealous of the guy's buff. I'm gonna try to get buff myself. Or like, oh man, my friend's making so much money, man. I'm jealous, man. I'm gonna go work harder to go make more money and stuff. Versus like envy. I hate that he's better than me. I hate those. That's really the difference. It's okay to be jealous, but just don't let it turn into envy. Because then you'll like just sell the bag at the wrong time and then go to Goblin Town.
Right.
Yes.
So for people who have already taken your guys' course, they know the extreme value that it creates and like why it works for them. And I know you guys have a lot of like return customers because they see it's so valuable. What do you say to the people who are deciding to sign up for the first time? I've got my referral link that I'm dropping in the chat right now. What do you guys say to people who have not taken your course before?
Yeah, I'd say basically give it a shot and see, how it goes, right? Obviously, that's the first way is like you don't know until you know, right? But why do we have, like 60% of our customers return quarter on quarter, right? The reason is because they're making money and they're having a good time. Like it's not just, making money. People love, that we're like bros having a good time. You know what I mean? Like we play music before things. We're very personal with you guys. We let you guys on the Zoom call as well, so you guys can see each other and like create relationships and stuff like that. So it's more of like a brotherhood, as well with the Moon Gang. But just in terms of people that are already in crypto, right? Like, are you an expert in, technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and on-chain data analysis? Maybe one of them, right? But probably not all three, right? So there's always something that somebody can, build up in their knowledge portfolio, I guess you could say, right? And so, fill the gaps, fill the holes. What is it that maybe risk management is something for you that, you've been like, I've really been ignoring that. I've just been all in on meme coins. It's been working out so far, but I'm scared one day I might get wronged or something, right? So it's like we cover pretty much everything, and so I think there's something for everybody. And what I tell people as well is if you're really, really skeptical, go back and watch the streams we've done with Maddie in the past. Go back on our channels, right, on Dollar Cost Crypto's channel, on Cultivate Crypto's channel, and look at what we've been talking about not only recently but in the far past and stuff like that too, and be like, okay, maybe I'm going to listen to these guys for free on their YouTube channel, for 3 or 6 months first before I decide to jump into the course. Great, do it. Like there's a lot of different ways that people can vet it, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is, where is the market going and how fast can you move with it? The one thing I've been telling people over the last 1 year consistently is, all of last year we were like, well, the market's kind of just like walking, like a slow stroll, dollar cost average in, learn about this, learn about that. There's not too much on the news cycle, right? But we're past the halving now. Yeah. I said about 3 months before the halving, you're going to start getting to a light jog. News is going to pick up, right? Things get interesting. Within 2 to 3 months post halving, we're going to be going from a jog to starting to run quite well, right? And then like the news and everything with crypto is just going to be so much more. So it's like trying to learn new things in crypto and being like keeping up with what's happening currently in crypto. Those two things are going to become harder and harder and harder. So, better to jump on that earlier, right? And get, be like, oh shit, I know there's like this huge part of crypto that I still haven't understood, and fuck it. Okay, I'll jump in and I got to start chipping away at that monster as well. So, there's a lot of stuff to learn that we teach, and a lot of our guests teach as well. So just, come in, bite off a chunk, see how it goes, is kind of the way I look at it. But I think DCC probably has a different angle or view.
Well, I mean, if I were to talk to the emotional side of the person, right? I mean, if you want to stay in poverty, just don't get in. I mean, it just is. I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, the course is here to shorten skills that you may think that you don't lack, and you probably do actually, because there's no way in hell that, I mean, I couldn't teach it by myself. I can't. Charlie can't teach it by itself. We're like, it's not just us. We actually have other instructors as well. But to be, it's a way to get a little more well-rounded and kind of bring up some of those shortcomings. But one thing I'm really proud of, I think this is something that we used to make fun of Richard about, which he used to get really frustrated about, which made me laugh. Which was, Richard, you don't get the community you want. You get the community you deserve. We're a bunch of gun-slinging pirates and crazy people, and there's a doctor somehow. There's some guy in a DeLorean. I don't know. We got some crazy Australians. I don't, and this is what, and our community is freaking awesome. We really have cultivated it over the time to be very positive and really helpful in answering questions. And then, dude, I've been in some of these other chats, fucking turbo cunts. Fuck all that. No wonder people don't get onboarded in communities, because it's you ask a question, it's you retard, you don't know that? Really? Dude, get the hell out of here, bro. Go watch a video, bro. You see, or here, click this link. Oops, took your money, right? And that's the exact opposite of what we cultivate. Our chats are the most helpful chats you'll see anywhere.
And how do we do that? If there's somebody who breaks that rule, right, which is basically, I can't say it on YouTube probably, but anyways, basically don't be an a-hole, right? And anybody who breaks that, we kick them out, right? And it's they still have access to the content, right? They can still watch, they can still learn, they can do all that stuff, but they just can't participate. And it's usually just a few bad seeds that kind of ruin the bunch, right? So or a few bad apples, I guess, is the better one. But yeah, basically you just have to get everybody on the same track, the same mindset per se, right? And once everybody's kind of aligned and working together, oh wow, all of a sudden we're going way further together than we would have otherwise. And that group effect, that hive mind, that really, one of the things that we preach is pay it forward. Right? Everybody in crypto started at zero at some point, right? So just pay it forward. But that also leads into good spaced repetition, because also then you got people doing this thing that we recommend, which is see one, do one, teach one, right? First, go into the course, be a fly on the wall, pay attention, then ask questions, right? Then basically start doing it. And then eventually teach other people who are coming in on the next quarter or something like that. And then you have that spaced repetition. You learn a lot better. You remember a lot better. The reason why I did my YouTube channel at the very beginning was simply because I'm hey, if I start teaching people about this, if I start communicating about it, I will learn it way better, because, you don't know anything until you can explain it simply, right? So all those types of concepts are really sometimes common sense, but common sense isn't so common. So we make sure to, kind of just promote that in the course, and then it tends to just flourish with good information that people are sharing, and a lot of good times as well. I think one of the guys in the chat says, I don't know any real crypto bros in real life, so the Moon Gang's where it's at. So it's one of those things where it's just come together where you can.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's really cool how you guys have this sub community of people who are all helping each other, learning these advanced topics, because if you don't have the right knowledge in crypto, it's very easy to not make as much as you could, or to lose it all on a dumb mistake. It's definitely the type of education and community building that is the right mix for people to really succeed. So it's no wonder that you guys are so popular and effective at what you do, is because it works.
Yeah, and just to kind of let people know the method to the madness a little bit in terms of what the course is and kind of how it's structured too.
Please.
So if you jump on Maddie's link there that's in the chat and you press that, then basically you'll be pushed over to cultivatecrypto.com, and you'll say, hey, I want to jump in the course. Great, you can pay. It's a one-time fee of $9.98. You can pay by Apple Pay, GPay, PayPal, credit card, debit card, pretty much everything. And if you want to pay in crypto, all you need to do is send us an email to support@cultivatecrypto.com. Say, hey, I watched Matty Allin's stream in the subject, say Matty Allin. something like that in the subject, and then we'll make sure that reflects on Maddie's introduction. But once you have done that, then within 24 hours, you will get a Telegram link to the private links channel where we put all the recorded and live videos, and then also the chat that we have our discussion in. So that's how it kind of rolls at the beginning. And then once you're in, you can start having a good time with everybody. Everybody's just, it's great when we start a course. Everybody's just like, "Ooh, it's great. Q2 is going to be awesome. Let's get it." Right. And so then you get people, having positive vibes. But we have 5 pre-recorded webinars, 2 or 3 that you'll have access to right away. And then between now and May 10th on Friday is when we start the webinars. You'll be able to review that information, ask people questions, enjoy the chat, right? Then on May 10th, we have 15 live webinars from there. This quarter, we have too much content. We have some extra guests and stuff like this, and it's all kind of too good to say no to. So we might actually end up doing more than 15 live webinars over that as well. But then in total, that's 20 live webinars covering everything from risk management to degeneracy, with meme coins and, but we don't teach leverage or we don't teach, day trading or anything like that. If you ask,
Awesome.
I'll tell you what it's about, right? We're open to discussing new subjects based on what people want to discuss or what people are asking about, but we'll also give you kind of the hard truths and stuff like that of what we think is most likely to, keep you profitable and away from losing money. So, that's what we do. And then we do have some extra webinars once the course is done. Usually the course is about 2.5 weeks. So from May 10th to about, let's say, May 25th, something like that is about where the webinars will be. We're going to put out a schedule tomorrow. And we do 2 days on, 2 days off. So the 2 days on are 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern is when we have the webinars. They're usually about 2 to 3 hours each. And the recordings come out about 12 to 16 hours after each one. So if you're driving on the road, working, doing whatever you do, then you can come back and review that later or continuously throughout the quarter for that spaced repetition. So that's what it entails, and that's kind of what it is there. Hopefully that kind of illuminates a little bit for some people who might have never heard of it before.
Well, and I really appreciate the members of my audience who are using my referral link. That helps to support my channel. And then I know that you're in good hands with these guys that I trust and admire the way that you guys are effective and helping people to really get to the next level in crypto. So anybody using this link, thank you very much for supporting me and supporting yourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And, a lot of people are like, well, I'm just going to take that 1,000 and put it in the portfolio. Cool. There's people that need to do that. That's great. Right. Go watch the free content that we give every day online. But then also it's like, what's that one mistake or what's that one thing you could have done differently? Or, those different, sometimes it's just a tweak here and there that really makes you a shit ton of money or avoids you from losing a shit ton of money. Both of those things.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of the times there's people are like, that one webinar is the reason why I wanted to join the course this quarter. That one webinar was everything that I needed to, really get my ass going in this bull market. So, for everybody, that's like a different webinar, depending on what it is. But we try to, I think everybody will get inspired at something that we provide when they get in there. Some of the projects that I mentioned before, right? We're trying to get, I've already met with the team from Velodrome and Aerodrome on base and optimism. And so I think we're going to try to do our best to get a webinar with those guys. And so a lot of people are like, I have no freaking clue what those projects are. I know what they do, but I don't know anything about the liquidity pools with that and stuff like that. So great. Come join. That might be your one webinar that you need to really just boom, take that next step in crypto, right?
Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. And obviously we can see the proof that you guys are providing value because you have hundreds of people who keep going back quarter after quarter to keep benefiting from their education. So and look, anybody who is not ready to pay for this course, I've still got good news for you. So if you go and look at the price chart of anything in Pulse Chain, and you think about the timing of the Hex conference in January, and you think about the timing of the courses that these guys have done over the history of their careers, it is a very, very good indicator that both things are lining up this year. We've got the Q2 course that's launching now, and we've got the pulsechainconference.com coming up here May 10th through 13th, and that will celebrate the 1-year launch anniversary. That's our new word for the stream today. Launch anniversary is the 1-year anniversary of launch of Pulse Chain. And so getting everybody together, it does something for the whales, I guess. I guess the whales, that's what they love, is seeing everybody on screen together over 4 days and 4 nights of conferencing. So today is the last day that you can sign up to be a speaker. And I tweeted that out earlier today from the Pulse Chain Conference Twitter and from my Twitter. So go click that link if you want to be a speaker, and we'll get everybody involved and hopefully create a huge market win for everyone.
Yeah. Well, and like those conferences, man, they're fun as hell too, because like, you get like a ton of people. Like the ones that are in person are great, but then the ones that basically are online, like you can meet so many more people. I think in the background, right? Like I never met anybody from the Tang gang before that world record stream that we did or whatever. And then I'm like, oh shit, okay, this is another interesting community, basically to talk to and all stuff like that. So it brings people together truly. And then when you told us the dates of when it was going to be, I was like, this lines up interesting. And like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I think the market's going to get really, really nice right after that. So I think everybody who's coming there getting information about Pulse Chain and stuff, hopefully they're buying and they're not just listening, right? If they take in the information and then they also get out there and purchase Pulse Chain, I think that's pretty much the perfect timing for how that aligns with where the rest of crypto is going this summer.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead, Benny.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say one last thing there too is like, it's also with the timing of the course. We do not time it during the peak times because we know that that's not the opportune time to get people in. We could have very easily
time for people to basically get people in if you want to take their money, but not the opportune time to get people in that's beneficial to them.
Right, because we could have very easily launched the course during $70,000, $74,000 Bitcoin, had more people in there, but then put them in a position where everything they're buying, they're just losing money on. And that's the exact opposite of what we're trying to do. We always launch. I mean, we did a mega course at the exact Bitcoin and Ethereum bottoms. And then we did one later after that pretty much bought all the L1s, almost all the L1s at their the L1s have kind of bled out for 3 quarters kind of before they found the bottoms, most of them. But, we were able to kind of at every quarter or every, 4 months, we end up picking the time where it's like the price is the lowest so we can get the best effective price for people to kind of get onboarded in. And then as the quarter continues on, especially now that we're in a bull run, it becomes into a lot of profit because that's what we're here for.
Hell yeah.
So beautiful, man. Crypto mindset for the win, man. Sign up using Maddie's link now, man. Escape poverty. Escape poverty.
Well, I really appreciate you guys coming on and giving everybody the opportunity to learn from you. I think you guys are outstanding examples of what it means to be a true in crypto. So I really appreciate you.
Yeah, likewise, man. And keep building out there. We'll do the same. And I think only better things can happen from here.
Awesome. I got a couple of questions for you guys real quick in the green room after the stream here. And until then, do you want to tell people where to find you and your last thoughts?
Sure. Just head over to Cultivate Crypto on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere else. Come watch and taking the free information while we're still on YouTube. I think we're going to be streaming through at least Wednesday here this week. So we're streaming live every day on Cultivate Crypto and Dollar Cost Crypto. So come on over.
And don't get rugged, you guys. Condom mullets for the win.
I've got all your guys' links in the links below. So give it a click and follow these guys and take the course. Until next time, Stake wisely, my friends, and peace out.